Yo, what up, y'all? What's going on? It's your boy Rich. Kind of caught me off guard there. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Rich. Real Talk with Rich. We back another Sunday night. Hope everybody's doing all right. Want to say what's up to the chat. Want to say what's up to the Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever fam. It's your boy Rich again. We here to do a show. Man, oh man, let me tell you. I hope you guys had a great week. Um, I'll just simply say this. My week was very, very busy. We had vacation Bible school at my church. So I was going to work every day, coming home in the evening time, spending time with the kids in my church and just hanging out and helping out, doing things around. So I had a wonderful time. It was a long week, but I got through it. Everything is great. And like I always like to tell you guys, I am better than I deserve. So for that, I'm grateful. Hope you guys are well. We got a show, so let's get to it. Let's not hesitate the time. We're going right into it. Low hanging fruit. That's a segment of our show where we get to talk about all the news and stuff that's going on. So yeah, we're gonna start off tonight with a bleeding cool article. All right. Now, your and my favorite Black Panther writer, John Ridley. John Ridley is back with a new comic book. Oscar winner John Ridley and Stefano Raphael have a new comic book series called Ministry of Compliance coming from IDW Publishing. Uh, they have this comic book will be released through IDW Publishing. And it's about an alien invasion that asks if humanity's division and downfall is all simply an alien plot from the 80s. Okay. For 37 years, humanity has been manipulated by extraterrestrial organization called Devolution, utilizing 13 ministries. These cunning agents have infiltrated every aspect of humanity's culture, weakening civilization by strategically destabilizing and flooding the planet with misinformation, fake news, shout out to Donald Trump, to accelerate chaos and division among mankind. This has all been an effort to take over and reshape the planet, and these secret saboteurs truly believe that they're helping humanity in the long run. But what happens when interstellar operatives begin to turn on each other and humanity is caught in the middle of a cosmic conflict? So John Ridley, straighter, who is fresh off of GCPD, The Blue Wall, is reuniting with the artist Stefano Raphael, who helped him out on that book. That was an incredible limited series. I know a lot of people got issues with John Ridley, but John Ridley did his thing on that book. That book is a very, very good uh, Gotham-centered book. You should check that out if you have not. So again, the Ministry of Compliance is a socio-political sci-fi thriller that has elements of extraterrestrial espionage and excitement. So it's going to be a lot of sword play in this, and so you guys should really, really look forward to this. I wanted to talk about this book, or just give you guys a heads up on this book. This book will be coming out on November the 15th, 2023. So in the fall, late in the fall, I'm pretty sure this will be up on our pre-order stuff. So look for the Ministry of Compliance. Got a lot of sword play in this thing. And hey, we're gonna be coming right off a Secret Invasion. It's getting ready, that's getting ready to wrap up. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But yeah, so look forward to John Ridley doing his thing. So please pre-order, as we like to say here at Black Comic Lords. Our next article comes with comicbook.com, The Acolyte. I'm going to talk about this article real brief, and then we're going to skip it, move, because I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I just wanted to just talk about it. It says here that the Acolyte cast praised the inclusivity of the new series. There are a lot of Star Wars projects to look forward to from Disney Plus, including the Acolyte. The new series is expected to be a mystery thriller that is set in the end of the High Republic, roughly a century before the events of Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, and will be entranced in the world of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers. The Acolyte is set to star Amandla Stenberg, Lee Jung Jae, Manny Jacinto, Jodie Turner-Smith, Daphne King, Charlie Barnett, and others. Recently, some of the cast spoke to Entertainment Weekly's Dagobah Dispatch podcast about the show's inclusivity. See the progress Star Wars is making across the board and all the streaming series, Steinberg said, noting the difficulties minority fans and actors have endured. When it comes to the world of fantasy and sci-fi in general, it hasn't felt like a safe space always for people of color. And it's been a world that I've always deeply loved and been invested in. So to be in any way, shape, or form, be a part of the wave that is ushering inclusion and safety for Black nerds, it is my dream come true. Turner Smith from they actually talked about Murder Mystery #2, but I know her from Queen and Slim. Spoke to EW about the inclusivity of the upcoming series, saying it was definitely something I noticed and was really excited about. It was one of the reasons I chose to step into the world. Daphne Keene also added that it was definitely a conversation we've had on set, and it's really refreshing to walk into a set as diverse as this one in every sense. We all come from different corners of the world, and it's really great to get so many different people from different backgrounds to create this thing together. Charlie Barnett added, said, I don't think I could imagine myself as a Jedi because I was not reflected for so many times throughout these films in the past. So to see such a diverse group now, I think it's going to be really impactful. It's going to be a cool moment for me for sure, I can tell you that. Manny Jacinto also shared, if I'm being candid, this is the first time you're getting to see an Asian Jedi. It's a pretty big responsibility. Getting to see Lee Jung Jae inspire a new generation of Asian kids to take up the lightsaber. It's pretty incredible. First of all, that's not true. There is a movie called Rogue One that had an Asian Jedi in it. That was a master of the Force. So, y'all need to knock it out. Now, I'm going to tell you why I wanted to talk about this article, okay? In this article, it talked about all of these different people coming together, right? But the problem I'm having with this article, and I'm for diversity and I'm for inclusion, but the problem I'm having with this article is that no one's talking about the story. When they start leaning into this versus what the story is about, I'm kind of cautious because I don't need this to be some nonsense. I need this to be Star Wars. I'm an old Star Wars head. I'm not trying to see another Rise of Skywalker nonsense. I'm not trying to see that this time around. You guys got to come with the real. It's got to be good story. I'm happy to see people of color in these spaces. We need it. It's supposed to be. But when they start talking about how important that is, but y'all not talking about the story, y'all not talking about the story arc, you're not talking about your character that you're going to play, I'm not feeling that. So I hope you guys over at Star Wars got more to say about the Acolyte than the number of black faces and brown faces and yellow faces that are going to be in the movie. Because it smells like the Eternals. And that was a dumpster fire. So please, 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 please tell a good story, because I promise you, people are going to trash you if this story is trash. And you're looking at one who will do such a thing. I will trash you if your story is trash. So we talk about black excellence, right? We want black excellence. I need the story to be excellent. You feel me? I need the story to be dope. I don't need to be a story where we got some black people in Star Wars now. Hooray, whatever. If the story ain't good, I'm going to trash it. I'm going to roast it like a barbecue pit. So please, it's good to have these nice, feel-good stories about inclusivity and diversity and all that, but your stories better be fire, or like I said, you can set your clock when Acolyte episode 1 comes out, and if it's trash, I don't care how many black folk in it. I'm gonna roast it like I roasted the blackening last week. That's what's gonna happen. So please, 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 please. Now I need to start talking about the story. Seco says, yet where was this article when John Boyega was catching heck from the fans? Yeah, well, there's that too. There's that too. I'm pretty sure Boyega got a lot to say on the subject. So I'm one with the Force. The Force. The guy wasn't a Jedi. Yes, he may have not been a quote unquote Jedi, but he was an Asian actor in the movie talking about the Force. So, Chillmonger, we can be technical, but we're gonna keep it a stack here. So, you got a lightsaber in your hand, you won with the Force. I'm not one of these Jedi guys that's like, well, there's a dark Jedi, and then there's a light-skinned Jedi, and there's a green Jedi, and there's a purple Jedi. I'm gonna let you Jedi hardcore fans, argue over semantics about that. But yeah, and I get your point though. I get your point. He says we've had black folks in Star Wars beyond 40 years plus, beyond Lando, 40 years plus, including a black one trained by Luke. Yes. Yes. I just need the story to be fine. Because I feel you, Rich, is all about the story. It is. It is. I'm not listening. I'm not giving out participation trophies. Rich don't do that. Rich do not do that. Rich do not give out participation trophies. You have got to show me something. And when it comes to these stories, and Star Wars in particular, okay, you guys have had all these decades, all of these stories, all of these, all of this lore, this huge lore. But you come to us with, yeah, we're going to have some black people in, we're going to have some Asian people in. Yes, it's going to feel pretty good. We talked about it on the set. No one's talking about their characters. No one's talking about what it's going to mean to have cis up front, first and foremost. No one's talking about that. 10100 Podcast says, I'll tell you this, if I don't see Sith Lords taking people out the first episode, I'm out. Yeah, that part. So Star Wars, I'm going to need y'all to get it together. That's what's up. Next article. We're going to shift gears. We're going to talk about Blade. Now, just letting you know, this is a spoiler review. Not a review, but we're going to talk about Blade. We're going to talk about a couple of Blade issues that are online that you guys can go and look at and read. But if you're going to go watch it, you might want to mute your phone mute your electronic device for a couple of minutes, because I'm getting ready to talk about some Blade stuff. Okay. For the rest of y'all, here's what's going on. Blade's biggest weakness could cost him a spot on the Avengers. Okay. Now, in this particular, there's the online story only. Marvel Unlimited has a series called Blade First Bite that's written by Brian Hill. Okay, Brian Hill's writing the new book, which will be out this week. All right, but he wrote 2 issues. Okay, he wrote 2 issues online. It's digital only, but in that he talks about this particular subject matter. Blade reveals why he left the Midnight Suns. It's the reason that could lead him to deciding to exit the Avengers for the same reason. We know that Blade has one character flaw, and it could cost him the infamous Daywalker spot on the Avengers. Blade First Bite serves as a prelude to Blade's new self-titled series debuting this July. This miniseries sees Blade to confront his past with an insightful conversation with Yumi, someone he meets annually for these introspective discussions. While the previous issues focused on his encounters with Dracula, the focus this time is on his time with the Midnight Suns. Blade First Bite Infinity Comic number 2, written by Brian Hill, Matt Chatter, Dan Brown, and VC's Corey Pettit, Annie Chen, and Tim Smith. And there's a lot of folk on here, but I'm going to go past that. Blade not only appears to have stood with the team, but views them as family, okay? However, Blade being Blade, he feels like he has the lead because at the core of who he is, he thinks he's a monster, and monsters do not belong with anybody. He works better by himself. He doesn't play well with others, even though he's been on team books and that kind of thing. This is his own opinion of himself. And so I think it's a pretty cool comic to check out. Mini comic, I think they're like 10 pages each. It's 2 issues, but you can go to Marvel Unlimited and find those. There's Blade First Bite. So the thought is that, eventually he will leave the Avengers. He may not, we're not sure. But Blade to me is always better when he is doing his thing by himself. So there's one more comic that they're going to put out where he's going to talk about the Vampire Nation, because in these comics he talks about his relationship with Dracula a little bit, and it's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? These like a prelude issues to the book itself. Now, I'm hoping that they, at some point put those books in print, but we'll see. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so this week, Blade #1 is coming out by Brian Hill. So you guys look for that. And yeah, just look for it. Just look for it. Austin asked a question, says, Rich, have you heard about the new Black Panther game Marvel announced last week? Yeah, I heard about it, but I don't really care about it. As I'm not a gamer like that, not when it comes to superhero games and that kind of thing. But I did hear about it. I'm not even sure how Paul feels about it. I didn't watch the show the other night, so I don't know if they even covered it. Yeah, I did definitely heard about the Black Panther game. So that's what's up. Moving right along, though, we got to go into our next thing, which is wait a minute, hold on a second. That's it. That's all I got. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna hit you with a double dose of commercials, and when we come back, we're gonna talk Secret Invasion. I know Paul and them talked about it. I'm gonna talk about it a little bit. It won't be long. And after we get into Secret Invasion, we're gonna get into our character spotlight. 1 in 100 Pod said, y'all better read this new Blade book. Might be the only Blade story we get. Yeah, that's for sure. Because you best believe with the writer strike going on as long as it is, yeah, that part. So we'll be right back. Get you something to eat, get you a snack, and we'll see what's up.
Comics are different. Those things cannot be returned if they do not sell. Okay, so that means that if they buy 10 copies of Monica Rambeau Photon and nobody buys it, they eat that money. And your local comic shop is, the margins are very thin, right? Times are hard for everybody. And so what that means is that it gives comic shop owners incentive to be very risk averse, right? And so you could order a bunch of Batman and you know that every month people are going to come in and buy Batman. It's often characters of color, new characters, lesser known characters where they're like, I don't know, this could be good, but if I put this on my shelves and people don't buy it, I lose money. And I'm sympathetic to that. That's a real assessment that they have to make. So the way that we avoid that is you go in and you pre-order. So Paul goes in 3 months before the comic set comes out and says, hello, I would like to pre-order Monica Rambeau Photon #1. I'm not going to wait till it comes out. I'm telling you now that I want it. And at that point, they're like, okay, let me go ahead and order this. And in the comics world, that is the sale that counts. By the time you come into a store and purchase a comic book, that sale does not count. I know it is ridiculous. It is very silly. That is the way it is. The sale that counts is when the store orders it from the distributor. That is what they are counting. And so what that means is that when you go in and you pre-order things, it actually gives that store confidence. Like, okay, Paul said Paul's going to be back and spend his $5 on this book. So we're good. If we order this one, we know it's going to sell and we can pay our rent. We're not going to be eating this cost this month. The best thing to do is your subscription or your pull list where you go in and you say, I want you to put these in every month for me, right? And then they will set that aside in a box.
Message. I was starting to write comic book stories in and around the world of Asunder and this character Niobe and a lot of the other heroes and villains and gray areas in between in that world. And I was pitching different comic companies, and a lot of them it just kind of felt like they were like, okay, this is great. We can use this as a Black History Month release. And it felt very kind of vapid and hollow, and it had no depth of weight. They were just interested. It felt like in checking a box to please a shareholder or to please a moment. They didn't actually, and it was very surface, and they had no interest, therefore, in the depth of character, the storytelling. In addition, they didn't really give about the representation, excuse my language, but it was like more about the check in a box rather than the need for representation or the desire there or for it, or then the levels and layers within the storytelling, the narrative of the characters and what they're experiencing. So I was like, okay, I guess. So shout out to those guys. Thank you so much. Because without those guys, I wouldn't have started Stranger Comics, another company. I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to create, but I was exhausted after running a record label. But thanks to those guys, I needed to protect the integrity, the dignity, and the nuances of Niobe, and who she was, and who she would become. So.
All right, we back. So let's get into Secret Invasion, episode 4. I feel like we need some music. I need to hear some Bobby Blue Bland. Ain't no love in the city, because there just ain't no love for Nick Fury. So Nick Fury probably had his heart ripped out of his chest this week. First, finding out that his wife has been working with the enemy. And, you know, that whole thing. I love those. I love the scenes with her and him. They've been very, very good. They have great chemistry. And I just thought it was so amazing that they were shooting this scene with them in 2012 in a restaurant or in Paris, and this little exchange they had with them talking about poetry and that kind of thing. That was love. That's black love, ladies and gentlemen. If you were looking for scenes of black love, I think this was one of them. However, it was unfortunate that that it wouldn't last. So it's unfortunate, you know. But like I say, she you know, we got the at the end of episode 3, we get this. She gets this phone call, or she makes this phone call, and she meets Rhodey in a church, talking about enjoy the concert. It's like, dude, that's a church service. What is she talking? But this is a scroll. So, and of course, we find out, of course, that Rhodey is a scroll as well. But I said that a few episodes ago, that Rhodey was a scroll. And you know, it is what it is. And what I loved about this particular episode was, you know, Nick Fury gets a dose of truth. And it's the truth that he needs to hear. Of course, though, Nick Fury has to, like, it's something when you have to spy on your own wife. And he listens to the conversations that Rhodey is having, you know, Rodette, I should say, because that's a woman, that's a female scroll, is having with his wife regarding him, and her tasking him to kill him. He's taking this in, you know, his wife tells, oh, he's broken, you know, and Nick just, I mean, dude's heart was really broken. And I thought when they met at the house and they put the pistols on the table, I thought it was over for old girl. I thought it was over. I thought Nick was just going, he took the gun, he set it on the counter, whatever, you know what I'm saying, being cool about it. But I just knew he was going to get her down. But of course, they both intentionally missed each other. And so it was interesting how that ended, you know, and when she asked him that question, you know, could you have loved me in my natural being, who I really am? He just looks at it and he's like, you know, he walks away and he says, I guess we'll never know. like everything that he's had to deal with, it's literally walking away from people and situations, you know, that's just out of his control. That's the thing about Secret Invasion that's pretty crazy to me, is that Nick Fury is used to being in charge, and everything around him is literally unraveling. And so the Skrulls, being the Skrulls, they are literally trying to get the world, Russia and America, to go to war. So in the last part of the episode, we see, you know, this shootout, right? And Talos gets hit, and so they trying to save the president. And so in saving the president, Nick Fury is the soldier. First and foremost, he's a soldier. So he grabs the president, puts the president in a secure vehicle. He goes back to get Talos. Gravik has got Talos. And so he just literally, like, Nick is like, let him go. Nick knew what was going to happen. So he just shot old boy. But what did Gravik do? He pulled out a knife and he stabbed Talos in the chest. And I gotta say, I don't know if Nick was more hurt by the betrayal of his wife or by watching Talos get stabbed like that. Because he was genuinely horrified to see his friend fall. He was already in bad shape, couldn't keep his human form. Dude stabs him, and that's how the episode ends. So I'm like, bruh, we got 2 more episodes left. Austin says, as smart as Nick Fury is, it doesn't make sense to why he would marry a Skrull. Why not a regular woman? Well, he was in space for a while, my brother. and he may have originally, I don't know if, because you gotta remember that in the episode, she explains to him why she chose the form she chose. So he didn't know that prior to. So it could have been one of those things where he may have discovered that she was a Skrull later on. She may not have told him originally. I don't know. I understand your point, but it's comics. That's all I can say. Shout out to my man K. Like he always likes to say, it's comics. Berkeley says CBR had an article saying that Fury handled the Skrull Rhodey wrong, that he should have kidnapped him and pumped him for information, while Talos impersonated Rhodey and saved the president. I mean, they could have did that, I guess, but again, I think part of the whole situation is we don't know where the real Jim Rhodes is. They have yet to like show us that part. That if there are Skrulls impersonating superheroes like Colonel Rhodes, where are they? You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of unanswered questions. I'm not sure that Secret Invasion is going to be able to answer all of them. And the way it looks to me like Secret Invasion is not going to be actually able to like put a bow on this. This is going to be one of those to be continued, or we're going to have to see something else come to the MCU before we actually get full answers, because I just cannot see them wrapping this thing up in 2 more episodes. This probably should have been at least a 10 episode series, in my humble opinion. The way it's falling, way it's unfolding, and that kind of thing. It's a lot of stuff that's unanswered, and we'll see where it goes. But man, it's been good. I've been enjoying it. So I know some people still like, online poo-pooing it or whatever, but I'm like, I don't know about y'all. Y'all tripping. This is pretty good. So shout out to Samuel L. Jackson and the cast over there at Secret Invasion. They doing their thing, man. So yeah. Now my man Paul says, at least Marvel now has an easy way out to make T'Challa and scroll and solve the mess that was in Wakanda. Gotta love these cult the boss people, man. Gotta love them. They y'all holding on to that. You know, we're gonna start taking bets. Somebody put up a post in Black Comic Lords and say, you know, laid out the odds that T'Challa that died was a scroll. And you know, just we might as well make some money off of it. Really, for real. So anyway, that's that. Speaking of money, I want to take this time to thank all of you guys for supporting our channels, supporting our social media platforms, and all the like. But I want to say this respectfully and as humble as I can, that Black Comic Lords is trying to create and build a brand that needs help. Now that help can come in a number of ways, but I have to prioritize the ways that it comes. And we're in a position right now where as we try to grow the channel and we try to grow our resources, we need help. We need not only do we need human resources, but we need money as well. We need you guys to support the channel. You can do that by sending us a PayPal, or you can hit the little cash app of the super chat thing right there as you're watching this. Whether it's a penny or whether it's $1,000 or whatever it is, we really want to serve you guys as best we can, and we need your help to make this happen. We have expenses. Trust and believe. We're not able to do this without going in our pockets. And some guys have gone in their pockets deeper than others. And for those brothers, I salute you. Thank you. For those of you who have supported us with super chats, I say thank you. But we really continue to need your support and your efforts to make Black Comic Lords not just a thing on Facebook and not just a thing on YouTube, but we're really trying to make this thing into a movement. We're trying to really put a stamp on the culture and what we do. The only way we can do that is answer with our pockets. So please do that. And also, if nothing else, please hit the like button for the algorithm. Please do that. Help us out. You know what I'm saying? Help Black Comic Lords grow. Tell a friend, tell your family, tell a hater. I don't care. We need more subscribers. We need more support. We need more money. We need it all, y'all. And that's just keeping it to stack with you. So with that said, we're going to transition now to our character spotlight. And as you can tell, I have a Black Lightning shirt on tonight, and because Black Lightning is my guy. And so I wanted to talk about Black Lightning for a moment and just, you know, shout my guy out. So Black Lightning's first appearance, Black Lightning #1, published in 1977, written by Tony Isabella and drawn by Trevor Von Eaton. Cover artist for #1 was Rich Buckler and Frank Sprinkler. This book, when it came out on the spinner rack, my fandom, my love for this book goes without measure because I was about 9, 10 years old when this book came out. And my eyes got real big watching this Black man pummel this white drug dealer. I was like, yeah, who is that? And so, yeah, so Black Lightning is one of DC's most popular Black superheroes. Does not get the love and respect like, say, a John Stewart, but he's an OG in the game. And I think the community should embrace Black Lightning and who he was. Jefferson Pierce is no slouch. Olympian, principal, teacher, community organizer, that kind of thing. That guy is like the brothers in the hood who care about the community. And that's one of the reasons why I love Black Lightning, because he's a very relatable character. And all of us know a Jefferson Pierce. You know, and if you don't know a Jefferson Pierce type of life, I suspect you need to enlarge your territories, expound your boundaries, because there's brothers that walk in that kind of, I would say, mantle every day in our neighborhoods. Pericles says, I have almost the issues of that run. I might crack them open after this. That's what's up. That's what's up, man. So yeah, but when it comes to Black Lightning, right? There's not a whole lot of Black Lightning books. Derek, can you go to the next slide? The next this run here, Black Lightning #1, that they put this out, I think, in the 90s or the 2000s, I should say. And the uniform is different, as you can see. However, what they did with this particular run, not that issue, but in issue #2, there's a character that showed up in the show, the Black Lightning CW show, called Painkiller. His first appearance is Black Lightning issue #2, Painkiller. And so he was one of the better characters on that show, other than Tobias Wells. So yeah, that's what's up with that. So yeah, Black Lightning. And then we got another run, which is weird because I think it's Black Lightning Year 1. Is our next slide. This is what they did with Black Lightning Year 1. They went back and retold the origin story. Now, if you go back to the original run of Black Lightning didn't have kids. He had nieces. Anessa was his niece, not his daughter. And so they kind of modernized the character, whatever. And then this is when you see they modified the uniform again, gave my man dreads, Nazi dreads, I should say. And yeah, but it's a pretty good run. But in my humble opinion, the best Black Lightning story that has been told in his own self-title is Black Lightning Cold Dead Hands. This is a flawless 6-issue book written by Tony Isabella, and it's pretty good. It's a modern version of Jefferson Pierce. Uniform is different, completely different, and it's been, that book came out, let's see, 2017, 2016. It's been about 5-6 years since that book has been out. But that's by far the best Black Lightning run ever. I enjoy all the Black Lightning stuff, but of my favorites, it's that run there, Black Lightning Cold Dead Hands. So yeah, that's what's up with that. And that's our spotlight tonight. So Black Lightning's been in a lot of books. He's been a part of the Justice League. He's been part of Black Lightning, and not Black Lightning. He's been a part of Batman and the Outsiders. He's very much entrenched in the DC lore. I did a Rich Recommends with Green Arrow. There's been a lot of Black Lightning books. There's a lot of books that Black Lightning is in, but as far as his self-titled stuff, there's just not a whole lot of it. Seacoast says 1995 Black Lightning run where Tony left the book because the editor got replaced from a guy from another country. It's unfortunate. And I will say, Tony Isabella is one of the few writers that have actually been able to write their own character on a I would say a more consistent basis. Funny thing is, there hasn't been a run that he's done in quite a while, but Cold Dead Hands was pretty dope. So, Tony Isabella had issues with Brian Hill in the Batman and the Outsiders run. For those who don't know, whatever. There was a time when Brian Hill was writing Batman and the Outsiders, and he wanted to introduce a romantic relationship between Jefferson Pierce and Katana. And Tony wasn't feeling that because he felt like Lynn, his ex-wife in the Black Lightning series, should be his love for life. And so he had some strong words for Brian Hill about that, but I thought that wasn't cool. But I think what he was trying to do was expand Black Lightning's story arc. And why would you hate on that if that's what he was trying to do? He says, did Tony hate on that year one story? Probably did. I never heard him openly criticize the year one story, but they did redo it. I mean, it is what it is. They gave him a nephew in that. So again, it's one of those things, man, where it's a character that I feel like is grossly underused, but it is what it is, so. But that's my guy, you know what I'm saying? Love that character. So with that, speaking of Brian Hill, Blade #1 is out next week, and it's 5. Yep. I'm pretty sure you already know. Just shout out to JT. So we're gonna switch gears and we're gonna go ahead and get into our Rich recommends for the night. I like to recommend a floppy and before I go there, this book here, The Other History of the DC Universe, that's issue #1. Okay. That book there, written by yours truly, like Paul liked to say, the name that should not be said. John Ridley wrote that book. John Ridley did a bang up job on that #1. And it gives us some backstory, and it gives us some of the thoughts that Black Lightning as a character has had in the DC universe. And I love John Ridley for this run. I mean, the stories that he told in that particular series were pretty amazing. All of the books were very amazing, but #1, that book particularly, and I love Katana's book as well. The Mal Duncan book that he did was okay, but it was okay. It was just okay. Now the Montoya book, question book, that was pretty good as well. But that by far is my favorite. He said that Outlaw Rider's name will never be said by me on this channel again. Well, guess what? You're going to have to come up with a pre-order, sir. You're going to talk about John Ridley come October, the final cutoff day. Urban says, I was a bigger fan of Black Lightning, Batman the Outsider than his solo titles. He was a real leader. Yeah. And again, part of it is because, the character had not been modernized for the time. And, I could go on and on about that, but I'm not, because again, I have a respect for Tony Isabella. I could say things about DC when it comes to Black Lightning, but I don't want to. I don't want to put myself out there like that, because then I have to talk to management after I get off the live. So we're going to we're not going to get in the weeds when it comes to that. Okay. So with that said, Sierra says The Other History of DC Universe is a good read. I'm currently finishing up this book. And 10100 podcast says it is time for a Black Lightning story. It is. I was disgusted. I'll say this about DC. I was disgusted by DC when they killed Black Lightning or Jefferson Pierce in the issue 2 of the Dark Knights of Steel. I was not feeling that, and I was feeling some type of way about Tom Taylor at the time. But yeah, I've been not running to Tom Taylor at a con. That's all I'm saying. Paul, you're my lawyer, so I'm gonna need you. Paul, I'm gonna need to put you on retainer in advance. Yeah, I might have to, have some heated fellowship with Tom Taylor, doing my man like that. But anyway, that's it for that. So we want to go ahead and transition to Rich Recommends. I'm just saying, man, you have to kill my man like that. That was wrong, bro. That was wrong. So anyway, Shadow Doctor. Now, normally with Rich Recommends, I recommend a floppy, and then I'd recommend a trade or a graphic novel. But I want to talk about Shadow Doctor real briefly, because for those who did or who did not pick this up when it came out, I think that you just did not know what this was. And I just think that it was, my job tonight is to put you up on one of the best limited series in the last 5 years. Shadow Doctor was amazing. Okay? There's 5 issues for Shadow Doctor. This book is written by Peter Calloway. Okay? Peter Calloway, grandfather, was a doctor in the 1930s. And being a Black doctor in the 1930s, there were not a lot of opportunities for Black doctors. But there was an opportunity made available via the mob. And so he was a doctor for, for Al Capone. This is a very entertaining story. It's a true story. And Peter Calloway brought this to life. And I'm telling you, you can go find this in dollar bins. You can get it. You can find the limited series on eBay. This book is it's in dollar bins. I have 2 full runs of this book. I collected it when it came out, and then, you know, dollar bin diving or whatever, I picked up all of those issues for less than $10. Okay, those books are out there in the wild. Go get this. I'm telling you, it is an amazing story about a Black doctor in Chicago in the 1930s. Very beautiful historic book. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what's up. Shadow Doctor Aftershock Comics. Please go get that. Please go get that. And my next recommends is DC Universe presents Black Lightning and Blue Devil, Volume 3. Now, this particular book, this was like 4 or 5 issues in the floppies, but it's part of what they call DC Universe books. Now, DC Universe books are type of books that basically these characters are not as popular. So what they do is they you know, it's kind of like what Marvel used to do with Spotlight books. They try to make a character pop, or when they're trying to like get people to notice this character. One of the last volumes of Black Lightning was in this particular book, Black Lightning and Blue Devil. Now, in this particular story, Blue Devil and Jefferson Pierce, I can't remember the Blue Devil's government name, but they went to school together. They grew up together, and so that's how they have a connection. And what's happened is our guy, the albino, Tobias Well, is trying to make deals with the devil, literally. And, you know, Black Lightning and Blue Devil try to stop it. It's a pretty entertaining book. It's pretty fun. It's a fun read. Now, on that trade there, whatever, there's like 2 other stories in that book. But a chunk of that book is the story of Black Lightning and Blue Devil. And that, like I said, there are 2 other stories, 2 completely different stories. I think there's a story with Red Robin in it, and I can't remember the other one. But yeah, you should go pick that up. That's a clearance book. That's not a book that's hard to find. Now, it's hard to find the floppies for Black Lightning and Blue Devil. I do have those. It took me a little while to get those. It's like I said, it's only like 4 or 5 issues. But to get the floppies in the wild, it took a minute for me to get that. So I want to just recommend that you guys go check that out. I'm telling you, that's a pretty entertaining read if you like Black Lightning. And, you know, Blue Devil's been around a while as well. He's not a real popular character. He's probably a C-list character. But they have chemistry in this particular book. And I remember first seeing this book on the shelves, I kind of shunned it because I was like, that don't look, what is this? I didn't really look at it, didn't really dig into it. Then one day I was just like, man, I got to find me something different to read. And it just happened. I'm like, well, I'm a Black Lightning guy. Let me go ahead and get it. Because I have all the Black Lightning books, all the Black Lightning title books, I have them. But this is the only thing I didn't have. So I went on and eventually got it, enjoyed it. And so much so that I got the floppies, and I also got the trade. So y'all go get that. That's what's up. But yeah, going back to Shadow Doctor, man, I see y'all talking about it. Y'all need to go get that. That was a great, great series. That was definitely a diamond in the rough. A lot of people missed out on that book. That book crossed over. There were white guys talking about that book. Comics with Bueller. He said that the book, the year that book came out, that was one of his top books of the year. It's that good. And it just happens to be out by Aftershock. So I don't know what Aftershock is doing in terms of paying their people, but I hope they paid that dude, because that was worth the price of admission. For real. So anyway, he says Aftershock, one of those companies that has no issue tossing out Black League books. Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. So anyway, he said, I'm here now. We can enjoy the show. This guy. But anyway, look, it's time for Chat Talk. This is where we get into whatever you guys want to read, or whatever you guys want to talk about, whatever questions you may have. I got some books here that I'm gonna share to kind of get the conversation going. I know you guys have read some stuff, but let me just tell you some books that I picked up and I've read this week. I'm gonna show you. So one of the books I picked up was this. So happy to see this in the comic book shop. Tales of Asunder, issue 1, Stranger Comics. Sebastian Jones, great guy, great entrepreneur, great first issue. And yeah, so I enjoyed that. Here's another one. Sunshine Patriots by Howard Chaykin. This let me tell you something. This was an entertaining book, but it goes back to, basically Howard Chaykin goes into the language or the linguistics of people from back in the day. And it gets pretty, you got to really read this book. This is not something you can just run through because he's literally speaking like the people of the time spoke. And yeah, this is cover B for this book, Sunshine Patriots. And it's basically about, what's going on in Hollywood in 1913. And so, yeah, Hollywood was one of those industries that had a lot of mob ties. Now, 1 in 100 podcast says, all I'm going to say, OG, is you wrong for this evil empire story. My goodness, I can't put it down. Oh, my brother, let me tell you something. For those, I mean, let me just say this. I sent my guy Amir a AOK. For those who do not know, an AOK is basically a care package of comics that, if you have a fellow comic book head that and that you really cut for it, they cut for you, you cut for them. You don't have a problem sending them a care package. It's like, you know what? I rock with this dude. I want to be a blessing. And so I'm gonna just send you some stuff. I've gotten AOKs from a number of people in the Black comic book community. And so when you've been blessed, you're blessed to be a blessing. And so this particular book, Evil Empire, I did the Rich Recommends last week on it. Amir did not know that I was sending that. I sent him the full 12 issues. I gave him the full 12 issues. I read the book. I enjoyed them. I said, you know what? I'm going to send this to my guy. I enjoyed him. I'm pretty sure he'll enjoy it as well. And so, he's reading that. So, yeah, like I say, it's Evil Empire ain't no joke. Evil Empire ain't no joke. So I'm happy that you're enjoying the books, bro. So that's what's up. But, yeah, I'm reading that. I read that. Now, one of my favorite reads this week was this one here, Deep Cuts, issue 3. Very good issue. Very, very good issue. Better than issue 2. First issue still got kind of a heart. It's one of my favorite. So, yeah. Now, where's my girl, Sierra? Sierra, I picked up Tenement because you said it was good. That's just to let you know that the OG does listen to people when he makes recommendations. So I picked up issue 1 of Tenement, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm going to definitely pick up issue number 2, and that's what's up. So I definitely enjoyed that. Now I know this next book I'm going to talk about. Y'all probably going to think I'm tripping, but I'm going to say it because I have to say it. This book here, Sirens in the City. It was okay, but I probably will not pick up issue number 2. And the reason why I probably won't pick up issue number 2 was because I was not drawn in really by the story. And what I mean is, you're focusing on this 16-year-old girl who's pregnant. And while that's compelling enough, it's not enough for me to want to stick around for it. And what I mean by that is that, you can try to introduce a lot of elements in a first issue, but you really don't have but a limited number of pages to kind of grab your reader. I just was not really interested. It's teenage angst, which probably means it's not for me anyway. You know what I'm saying? To keep it real. So the art in the art in Siren Cities is good. Kari Randolph is the man. Kari Randolph is the man. He's the dude. The art is great, but I'm in a stage of my collecting and a stage in my reading where your art is not going to save you. Your art is not going to save you. And that's just for me. And some I've heard some people say, online that they thought it was fire. They thought it was great. It wasn't for me. It just wasn't. But that's one of my favorite books. Now, probably my best book of the week, other than the deep cuts and the tenement book, was this book here. Catfight issue 2. Let me tell you, for those who are not reading Catfight, go get a late pass. Because that book is full of, this issue here is action from page 1 to page 22. It is about a guy who is being attacked by some gangsters or some people that his grandmother knew. And, he's basically trying to survive these attacks. Man, go get Catfight. Catfight is basically about cat burglars. And it's an IDW book. And yeah, seriously, I was interested in Catfight. Catfight is good. Catfight is good. You will not be disappointed. Now, here's the problem. Trying to find it, good luck with that. Because this is one of those books where the shop owners probably only ordered like a couple, and that's it. And I've been to different shops, and I've only seen this book in a couple of places, and it's like one on the shelf, that kind of deal, because it's an independent title, and so a lot of the interest has got to be generated, and if you don't pre-order this stuff, it's not going to be on the shelf. So I have Catfight #1 on my pull list. Yeah, man, that's a pretty good book, bro. It's a pretty good book. It's one of those. I'll tell you like this here. I don't know what the plan is in terms of long term, but I would like to see this kind of go somewhere, because again, these are about cat burglars, jewel thieves, that kind of thing, and just a very, very interesting, compelling story. The brother here on the cover, he's basically having to it's kind of like the Warriors. he's trying to get to Paris, and he's having these encounters with all of these people that know his grandmother. They love his grandmother. They are attacking him because of his grandmother, and so he's just trying to survive. So yeah, it's a dope story. I enjoyed that. So yeah, those are some of the books that I read this week. I read a whole lot more. I read some stuff by Mark Wade this week, old school stuff. But yeah. 101 podcast says, man, I wanted Sirens to be good. The art is amazing, but it felt like the writer wanted to tell 4 different stories. I don't know where the writer wants to go. You just nailed it, bro. You just nailed it. It's all over the place. And that's why I probably won't pick it up, because it's like you put that many irons in the fire, you're going to have a tough time trying to deal with all of that. And while I'm not, I don't want to say that the writer can't write. It's just that it's a lot to unpack. And just because you put a lot of stuff in a book, I mean, if you got a 10-pound sack and you trying to stuff 15 pounds of crap in it, not gonna be well for you. So that's just how I see it. Tenement is worth the read. Yes. Say, Rich, have you read Arcade yet? My LCS is pushing that series hard. I have not. Arcade Kings. I have not. Part of the reason why I have not is, it's just not on my radar. I have a. I only have, my pull list is very limited, and I added some books today to my pull list, and I try to keep my pull list under 10 books because, again, I mean, I just ain't balling out of control like that. Though I could, I wouldn't. I won't do that to my personal account because I have more than one addiction. I love comics, but I also love music. I'm back collecting vinyl again. So I'm trying to keep my comic book stuff at a limit so I can build my vinyl collection back up. So that's what I'm doing as well. Frustrated says, I get everyone's issue with Sirens, but I think he wanted to introduce all the players and don't want to make you feel like you're missing some of the main players in the story. I get that. I mean, it's cool, but at the same time, I felt like I said, I felt like this wasn't really. I mean, it feels teenager to me. It feels, teenage. Like I say, it's teenage angst. At the end of the day, that's what it is. Now, she may be some kind of siren, magical creature, monster, whatever, but I just kind of felt like, I'm gonna let y'all have that. You know what I'm saying? And it just didn't grab me enough. It just didn't grab me to a point where I care about the story enough. That's the thing with me. Your story has to. You have to make me care about your character. And if I'm not, if I'm not there, if I'm not vested like that, then it's gonna be an issue. Sierra says I would give Sirens another shot with issue 2, but they got to come with that. So I tied Teen Titans World's Finest. Based on Paul's recommendation, it was pretty good. Yeah, Teen Titans is a solid book. World's Finest is by Mark Waid, is a pretty good book as well. So yeah. Let's see. Y'all give me a second. I'm looking at some text message. I keep getting texts. Yeah, okay. I was like, we kind of busy around here. So do you keep track of your vinyl collection on Discogs? No, actually, CLZ has a vinyl component to their collection or collectors website, and that's what I use, CLZ. You know what I'm saying? So I have my comics and my vinyl kind of in the same spot. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. Now, I know this is a comic book space, but let me tell you, let me put you guys up on some vanilla salt. Okay. If you like guitar and you just love music, period, this book, this album here, Timepieces by Eric Clapton, amazing. Amazing. Now, of course, if you're a soul man, you can get a little Sly and the Family Stone, stuff like that. I listen to a lot of different music, man. What Bill says, Clapton is off the hook. Yeah. You're making some valid points. How do you like Ghostlight? I enjoy Ghostlight. Ghostlight was I feel like Ghostlight is going to fare better as a trade because it reads like a trade. It's a book that you literally are able to read in one setting, should be able to read in one setting. John Jennings put a lot of elements in that book, you know what I'm saying? And it's a Black cosmic story at the end of the day. It's a Black cosmic story at the end of the day. And what I love about it more than anything is that he used some Afro-futuristic elements. He brought elements of jazz into the conversation. And it's weird too because for those that watched our interview with John, he talked about he talked about you know um, doing a pull. I mean, not a pull list, but doing a playlist on Spotify. And I was listening to that Spotify. That thing had all kind of music on it. I mean, he had some Sun Ra on there. He had some Police on there. There's a lot of good stuff on there. It's a pretty big. It's a pretty sick playlist. But if you enjoy music, I recommend you guys go to Spotify and search Ghostlight. You'll find it. So they have a Sly and the Family Stone book coming out in September, Rich. Yeah. You know what's weird? He says you ain't got no James Brown, you ain't saying nothing. This guy here, man. I love Herschel. You know what, Herschel? I'm gonna say this. There's only one album of James Brown that I am looking for. One album. And when I find it on vinyl, I will let you know. I enjoy James Brown like anybody. Whether we're talking about Sex Machine, whether we're talking about I Know You Got Soul, whether we're talking about A Man's World, please, please, please. But one of my favorite James Brown albums is not even a James Brown album. It's actually a soundtrack. And that is the soundtrack to Black Caesar. When I find that, I might post that in the Black Comic Lords group. Yeah, but he says, I am dead set. I'm dead serious. I know you are, bro. I know you are. But I'm gonna try to find that book in the wow, they said I ate dinner with Sly Stone 3 times back in the 80s. No, that's what's up. Listen, Sly Stone, low key, Sly Stone is probably one of the best musicians ever to come out of that time period. I mean, I just think that, man, some of the music that dude put out, I don't think people are really aware his range. Because one of my favorite Sly Stone songs is like 2 minutes and 50 seconds or 30 seconds. And it's called If You Want Me to Stay. I love that song. Man, that song is just simple. It's beautiful piano on it. And it's about him, basically, do you want me to stay or not? You want me to leave? Guys, we've all been there, haven't we? That's what's up. Yeah, man. So anyway, we I'm sorry we didn't kind of fell into this music thing or whatever, but Rich do all kind of stuff, man. Shoot. I got a little bit of everything in my collection. I post some of my stuff up on Instagram. I mean, look, I like Frank Sinatra. Dude, I love music, period. You know what I'm saying? I am a music head. Before I became I've always been a comic head, but music was really more my deal. I spent a lot of time in a lot of record conventions more than I did comic books. So yeah. He said, me and my pops sing that joint all the time. Yeah, but I love Sly Stone. Sly's the man, Love Dizzy Gillespie. Look, I hope you're reading Deep Cuts. Deep Cuts is basically about jazz, and the next book is called Blue Notes. This is the cover, or one of the last page in Blue Notes. They're gonna start doing, so we'll get some Blue Note story out of that. So I'm not sure if that's if they're going in the range of Coltrane or whatever, but I'm hoping that they do. Yeah, the Sly's range is incredible. I mean, he was very much a dreamer. His catalog is pretty sick. People know that the greatest hits album like I just showed you, but that guy's got a dope catalog. His catalog is people. I love Jimi Hendrix. Hendrix will always have a place in my heart, and I got more Hendrix in my collection than anything, as far as rock goes. But you got to mention Sly Stone when you're talking about, because even though Sly Stone is more funk than rock, I would say, in my opinion, that's basically funk is basically just a offshoot of rock, in my opinion. But that's just me. Yeah, but I mean, he's like right there. You know what I'm saying? Hendrix playing was just incredible and sick. Playing the guitar upside down or left-handed. Now, y'all, let's see. What is Hershey talking about? Now I understand Hershey that listen, I love James Brown. I do. I love James Brown. But again, the James Brown that I love is, I mean, I love it all, but that's my favorite James Brown album. James Brown had 2 albums that I really, really enjoy. The first one I told you about was the I just lost my train of thought. The Black Caesar soundtrack, and he had an album called Message to the People, which had the song on it, King Harold, and that's one of my favorites. And so, but yeah, I love James Brown for real. Gordon says, I love Hendrix. I saw a wonderful Hendrix exhibit at the museum in Seattle. Had a copy of his notebook where he wrote his songs. Wow. Yeah, I love Jimmy, man. That dude does a beast. He did his thing. So, okay, I know we kind of went down the rabbit hole with music, but let's get back to comics. So what are you guys recommending? What are you guys talking about? What are your thoughts? Or what do you want my thoughts on? Since now the book I wasn't disappointed was Steel Siege. Steel Works? Steel Siege. What is that? What is that, Frustrated? Just to give you guys a heads up also, Static number 5, issue 5 will be out this week as well, coming up. I was able to secure a copy from an undisclosed location early, so I have the book. I will not talk about it because I made a promise to myself and I wouldn't do that. I made a promise I would not do that. But yeah, Static is coming out this week. Got Blade book coming out this week. It's gonna be a dope week at the comic book shop, y'all. And I'm here to tell you, please, 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 when you go to the comic shop, whether it be Tuesday or Wednesday, please do not put up no panels and have spoils of book for us, okay? I almost posted up a panel in the Static book. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. So, yeah, it says the baseline and You Want Me to Stay is crazy smooth. Yeah, man, that's my favorite Sly Stone song. That one, that's my favorite Sly Stone song. After that, my next to favorite song is Thank You for Talking to Me, Africa. That bass line. Matter of fact, WC and the Mad Circle. I'm going into my hip hop bag now. You messing with me tonight, Amir. WC and the Mad Circle had a sample of a Sly Stone song. That song being Thank You for Talking to Me, Africa. If you love the bass line of that, Amir, go and Google, go find Thank You for Talking to Me, Africa. That bass line is bananas. Is bananas. Tomb Raider, shout out. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the super chat. Vicious Circle is coming out this week too. We've been waiting.
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was the trash. Don't be hitting on me.
Thank you.
Everybody, please, please, please support the channel. Please like the video right now if you can. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Vicious Circle 2. That the art in that book is sick. That, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we have to wait 4 or 5 months for that book to come out. I'm hoping that it was worth the wait. I know that art was ridiculous, And you know, I just said, I might be a hypocrite. I just said that your art will not save you, and I'm hoping that the book is continuously good in that case, so I can enjoy issue 2 when it comes out. But yeah, man, the art in that book is amazing, amazing, man. Vicious Circle, that is incredible. Steel Sieges by Battle Quest Comics. Okay, I'm gonna have to look them up because I have not seen. So what's up with what's with these Night Terror issue? Well, here's the thing. DC is giving most collectors the next 2 months off. They're going. Night Terrors is basically going to take over the DC universe for the next 2 months. This is an event that Joshua Williamson is kind of spearheading. I am not buying every Night Terror book. I'm going to buy the regular Night Terrors book. And I may buy Batman because Batman is my guy. But I'm not buying every tie-in. That's just not going to happen. So Night Terrors is basically about, guys having nightmares in the middle of the day, just falling out. Dead Man is one of the key characters in the story. If you're not a Dead Man person, you may not you may not be interested or whatever. But Dead Man is one of those cool characters. Boston is all right. He's a fun read if you've never experienced Dead Man. But it's basically, and for those who don't know who Dead Man's a character basically who is able to kind of go in or possess people. And there's a funny element to the Night Terrors book because in issue 1 of Night Terrors, he tries to possess Batman, and Batman just ain't having it. Batman just ain't having it. So it's supposed to be a horror story, but it's we'll see where it goes. But I'm just reading the regular stuff. This is another crisis type event. Probably won't do Night Terrors unless it crosses a DC book that I'm already collecting. Yeah. The Night Terrors Joker cover is pretty sick. It is. Gordon says, "How do you like Spectre?" Spectre is good. I like Spectre. I like the original Spectre. Then I like the Black Spectre. So I enjoy Spectre books for sure. Spectre is one of my favorite characters as far as horror stuff. Now I will say this. Speaking of horror, there's a new Incredible Hulk book out, and that first issue was amazing. They are taking the Incredible Hulk in a horror direction, and it makes sense because Hulk is a monster, right? And I enjoyed that first issue of Incredible Hulk, so y'all should go and get that if you want some horror books. I heard the Joker book is pretty good. Yeah. I'm kind of fatigued with Joker. I love the Joker. Joker's my favorite horror. I mean, my favorite villain. But I just can't. I read enough Joker. I'll say it like that. Jay says, "I finally got my All Negro Comics 75th Anniversary Edition. Can't wait to read it. Love the shirt, Rich. Yeah, appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. OG, yo, Hulk was so dope. Yeah. Gordon says, "I really enjoyed Al Ewing's Immortal Hulk horror storyline." Yeah. C. Cole says, "Comicsology has a new book by Scott Scown, A Duck and Cover, Black Team during the 1950 Russian invasions. Russians have alien technology." Well, you know what? They're responsible for a lot of bots, so that ain't far from the truth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Frustrated says they did that because of the Marvel Knights story called Banner. I mean, it's listen, I am a Hulk guy, but I'm not a hardcore Hulk guy. But I decided that I'm gonna give this a try. Scotty Young was one of my favorite artists. He did a cover, anybody knows me that knows I love Scotty Young art. And so he had one, and the Scotty Young art itself on that book, it's okay. It's not his best, but it was enough for me to be able to go get it. I said, you know what, I'm gonna go get this, and I did. So it's like, let me read this. This is good. It was pretty good. So yeah, but I definitely enjoyed Al Ewing's Immortal Hulk. They gave him 50 issues for it, so I kind of feel like they could have kept it going, but some people got kind of tired of Al Ewing on it. Al Ewing has been doing this thing. C. Cole says Ray Anthony Heights Midnight Tiger Kickstarter starts tomorrow, and Tobias from Black Lightning has one that just started as well. There's a Tobias Whale Kickstarter. C. Cole, is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me? Because if it is, I need details. I need details. Need details on that. I like Ray Anthony Heights Tiger, Midnight Tiger, and I did see it. But we need to talk about this Tobias Whale. Yeah, I need details, my brother. I need details. So yeah, but let's see. Sunshine Pages gave me a little Hap and Leonard vibes. Yeah, I mean it's when I read it, I was like, this is crazy. But it was enjoyable in that, what I'm saying, the story that they're telling, the way these guys talked or whatever. That's one of the things he put out before you actually get into the story. Say, look, these guys talk like this, so don't be tripping. You know what I'm saying? He literally jumped into a time machine in the 1913s and talked like these people talk. Whether they were being a-holes or whatever, that's just kind of how they talk. I think C-Cole means Marvin Crondon Jones has a Kickstarter. Okay. Thanks, Pericles. I was about to say, man, there's a Tobias Whale book coming out. I need that. I need that. I need that. Frustration says, how is that possible? I don't know, bro. I don't know. So what else you guys looking forward to? What you guys looking forward to coming out this week? I'm not fancy like Paul. I don't have all the bells and whistles of everything. So I'm just kind of thumbing through the DC Connect books and what's coming out. Not a whole lot of stuff that I can really just jump up and down about. The Night Terror stuff, like I said, is taking over for the next 2 weeks. So be on the lookout for the Negative Space Black cover. Looks too dope. Okay. That's what's up. We're going to do that for sure. John Stewart, Green Lantern War Journal. Be on the lookout for that coming up as well. And of course, next month, I think the Blue Beetle movie comes out. So yeah, we got that to look forward to. Cyborg. That's coming out, not this week, but yeah. Yep. Sierra says, I'm waiting on the new Blade. Yeah, we're going to be talking Blade stuff. Definitely. Now, next week, we won't be here. We will probably do a show, not a real talk with Rich. We won't be doing a real talk with Rich next week. Because next week, we have Ken Quattro, who is back for our continued series, our part 3 series. That's what we're going to be doing next Sunday. But the Sunday after that, or what I may do, I'm not sure. I have to get with management and see if they want to do a popped up sit and low show. Now, a popped up sit and low show is a show where basically we just kind of like pop up on you guys. We don't have no show prepared. We just run our mouth about comics. So I might get with management and we might see if we can make that happen. If the HNIC, I'm sorry, if the CEO, if the CEO says we can do it, then that's what we may do. Sorry, Paul. I got jokes. You know I just kid. You know you're my brother, my dude. Anyway, but if we're able to make that happen, we might, because we do know that Blade will be out Wednesday. People are going to want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to be doing the Ken Quattro show, so the Blade talk may have to wait. I do know that he'll probably. Gordon's laughing. You'll probably talk about it on Wakanda Whiskey and Bourbon Blurred. But we'll see. But anyway, yeah, man. So that's what we got coming up next. I want you guys, if you have not went back and watched the Ken Quattro stuff, y'all go back and check that some of them episodes out, man, because there's a lot of information and education in that. Matter of fact, we were talking about Secret Invasion earlier, right? And the guy that's in Secret Invasion, Ben Kingsley Adair, right? Some people think that he should be portrayed in a biography or a story about Black comics. He ought to be Matt Baker. He ought to play Matt Baker. And they do favor, they both light skinned. He does have features or whatever. But I'm looking forward to Kingsley Ben Adair playing Bob Marley. That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. This dude here is putting together a nice resume. And if the opportunity comes where he can actually play Matt Baker, the guy that's basically responsible for the the comics, it wouldn't be no comics. What's the word I'm looking for? This guy basically created, or his art was so good that he basically created the first parental guidance sticker, if I can say it like that. Yeah. Gordon says, yeah, that Marley project should be. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Somebody says 35 people watching and only 3 likes. I know we better get these likes up. Come on, y'all. Please like the video. If you like the video, please put a number 1 in the chat. Because we should not have 3 likes. We should have more than that. I'm just saying. Never we got 24. Finally bought my copy of Invisible Man. Just great. So yeah, we're going to be talking about Elmer Stoner, and that's going to be a great conversation. Ken Quattro is basically a walking encyclopedia. We're going to pick his brain about a lot of stuff, so that's what's up. Yep. Thank you guys. Thank you. Bill says Gravik Marley. I like him as a villain. He's doing his thing, grabbing about that life, boy. He have no problem killing. Boy, scroll on scroll crime is prevalent in Gravis world. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up for the night. I have had fun. I have had a blast, and there's nothing left to talk about tonight, I don't guess, except to give the benediction. And with the benediction, that's going to come from the book of Romans. Romans, the 8th chapter, verses 5 and 6. It says this: for they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit do mind things of the Spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. From the stronghold that is Black comic lords and Black superheroes forever, it's your boy Rich. And until we meet again at the next appointed hour, we say peace. Buy the comics, read the comics. Till next time, we out. Oh, we got a most.
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was the trash. Don't be hitting on me.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for that super chat. Well, we're going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. Love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. If you need to hit us up on our Facebook page. Hit us up on our social media. Email us if you want to contact, want to work with us, blackcomiclords@gmail.com. If you need some good recommendations, go to our website, www.blackcomiclords.net, blackcomiclords.net. Go there, find some dope books. Go to our Things of Another World, order some cool books from there. That Ken Quattro book we talked about, Invisible Man, you can go through there, hit the link, the Amazon link, and you can order a book right there. So please, please, please support the channel. We thank you. We love you. We out. Let's go, bro.